Welcome, race fans, back to Deviant Racing for the GT World Challenge. First of all, of course, we have the Pro Series, and this is how things look after the first round at Interlagos. Nismo leads the championship ahead of Larry, Zen, Copa and Floody. With Chaotica, Don't Need Time, John Kai having scored the fastest lap, level on points with Don't Need Time, and then Mercury, Arcane, Zanshin Berman with Glovas, Camzilla and Preston yet to score and in that relegation zone. Of course, remember, we have a drop score situation for the drivers. In the combined team standings, we have for you Team Wunderfert on 39 points ahead of Team NASCAR, with Team Pollo Loco ahead of Sony Interactive. Predators are 5th, Team Builder are 6th, and 404 Motorsport are your drivers at the back at this stage. We are in the fantastic Fuji International Speedway, just in the foothills of Mount Fuji, Japan, and we look forward to a race as qualifying has just this moment got underway. So we will be able to bring you some action momentarily. I've just realised that I'm lacking a keyboard, so let's sort that out for myself. And hopefully I haven't just disconnected my headset in trying to reach for it. Let's get you some pilots driving around this brilliant racetrack. We are expecting as well some rain today, so it should be a very, very interesting situation. I can let you in on the rain plan at the moment. So the GT the Pro rain tiles are looking at fairly low level rain to start with, and then going heavier throughout the middle portion of the race. But the start and end of the race are set to random, so we don't know what those conditions are going to be like. This is the first flying lap then. This is Glovas with a clear track in front of him, making sure he was the first out on track and ready to go racing. There was Mount Fuji for a moment, and we head for the downhill braking into turn 6. I don't know what it is about Fuji, but in the last month I think I've commentated 6 races here. So I will do my best to find interesting things to say for you and for myself for this race. But do bear in mind that it's been a busy one. We're not using the Dunlop chicane, we're just doing the Dunlop corner of turn 10. That means my turn numbers might be slightly out of sync, but essentially there's 2 corners here, and then we go left into the decreasing radius nets corner right now, before heading into the final corner, which is called Panasonic, which is very obvious why it's called Panasonic when we go off the off board, but we'll save that for later on. Fuji, of course, a track very famous for its rain, not least because of the 1976 Formula 1 Grand Prix that saw the early retirement, the voluntary retirement of a certain Mr. Niki Lauda, handing the World Championship over to James Hunt. Copa goes third, Floodie's 4th at the moment. Preston crosses the line, and he is the slowest so far. Still waiting on times there, so that means Berman's gone into 6th. Here comes Camzilla. Across the line he goes 8th fastest. Chaotica will cross over and go 7th. That was Camzilla. Looks like Mercury might be on a calm lap here. It doesn't look particularly quick right now. Arcane to cross the line. He goes into 8th initially. Flood's still down there. Asian Persuasion. I'm unfamiliar with Asian, so that's a new one for me. He's in 13th, and Larry still on his outlap at the moment. Sully is waiting in the pits to be our safety car driver as usual, and here is Glovas then, having already eaten quite a lot out of that front left soft tyre. I anticipate the drivers will be thinking about maybe making a pit stop about now to get on in, but it's a long lap around here, and it's great to see Izzy here live, as well as Red, and then Alexandra to cheer on with Gus in company as well. Hi to Gus, especially as Glovas crosses the line. He's going to start again, and he'll go on. I thought he would be heading into the pit lane, but alas, no. Oh, that's a shame. Junkai's livery has not come through for me. That is quite disappointing. If we have a decent gap between qualifying and the race, I will try and reload. I did do the usual trick here to try and get those liveries through, and the Audi hasn't come through either of Zen. So yeah, that's an extra incentive for me to try and get that. Preston has gone into the pits, and Jim just letting me know that Asian Persuasion is a reserve driver. It's the first time I have commentated over Asian Persuasion, and I will try not to mess up his name. Junkai should have a 30-minute penalty for not having his livery come through, and Zen, says Kuros Kai. I imagine Kuros probably not on their team at on this issue. So obviously cheering on Larry, the Papas clan. Of course, we've got this is Chaotica. Let's see on board with Chaotica if he is pushing at this point. The Renault appears to have been somewhat gentler on its tyres than we saw at the front. Globas has come in. Red is cheering on Copa, which is great to see. Red, one of our drivers from another league, who's tuning in instead of practicing, or maybe alongside practicing for his race later on this channel, as drivers getting out of each other's way so to not cause an issue here. It's the crest of the official turn 13, today's turn 11, as we head into Nets corner then. Lots of steering lock on, and Red saying he's sick of the track that they're racing on. Not far away, in the same country later on, but our focus right now is absolutely on this fabulous Fuji Speedway. Chaotica really hurt his restart on this lap by letting his teammate through. I guess he's hoping to get a bit of a toe on this lap at the moment, but that was a surprise. I thought he would, thought that has cost him something, and there's the driver in front of him, his teammate just quitting out back to the pit lane. So, got a couple of dark clouds, but plenty of blue sky for qualifying at the moment. We'll be looking to see what happens in terms of safety car this lap. Of course, the middle third safety car is generally reserved for. Hi to Charlie as well, who's also here for Larry. So we've got 3 people cheering on Larry today so far. Any other takers, and do speak up if you've got a particular favourite today, especially if you're not connected by family to one of the drivers or team. If you've showed up to watch because you've got a friend, colleague, or you're completely neutral, I'm always keen to hear who is catching your eye. That's turn 10, the Dunlop right-hander. So Kurosuke saying, well, Larry has a teammate in this race, absolutely. Here is Chaotica then, just running through into Nets corner once again. Globas with the fastest time so far in this 10-minute qualifying session. Just going to go for one new set of tyres. Just see what Chaotica's lap looks like on the way out. But it's Globas, don't need time. Junkai, Zen and Berman ahead of him at the moment. I'd be surprised if Chaotica manages to get a better lap here after kind of not doing himself any favours coming out of the Panasonic corner previously, and indeed he goes no quicker on this one. So back, let's chase sit with Don't Need Time, who's also got that video display on his dash for instead of a mirror. This is his out lap at the moment, so we'll just check in on Globas. It's quite confusing going into turn 10. You can go in obviously a lot quicker because you're not doing a full turn for the chicane. So Globas runs through. Weren't in time to see his sector times coming through, so it'll be all news to us how he manages to get through this next one out of Panasonic corner. That looks pretty well hooked up. You can ride quite wide out, but of course it does slow you down time spent on the curb. It's like just taking his time to get up to the right level. And unfortunately for him, no faster on his next lap. He has got time to put in one more lap. Don't Need Time is going faster through sector 1, which is pretty much just the Daiichi turn 1, the official turn 2. He's gone through Coca-Cola, he's got understeer as everybody has, going through 100R, the right-hand turn 4 into turn 5. That was the hairpin of turn 6, which is one of the most open-looking hairpins in world racing. As we then go through the 300R, turn 8 and 9, heading downhill for that, late braking down into Dunlop. Nice little apex cut there. We've got a bright red Ferrari directly in front of us. So it does look like we've got barely any of our liveries come through. And qualifying has finished very, very quickly. So I am going to quit out of here and see if I can't get you this going. That did not finish. That finished a lot quicker than I thought it would. So Globas ahead of Don't Need Time, Junkai, Mercury, Berman, Zen, Chaotica, Preston is your starting grid. Comacopa, Asian Persuasion, Camzilla, Arcane, Floody and Larry. Starting at the very back, Larry, which is a big surprise for me at this stage. Let me just quit out and see if I can't figure out a way of getting these liveries on. We get one chance really to sort this out. So we will do our best. This is the hack. This is the way to do it that I know of anyway. So let's try and get ourselves back in time for the race. Larry has the flu, says Alexandra. So I did get a message from him just as I started up today. But safety car will be lap 17 for the pro race. Looks like we've just about got in time, which is fantastic. I'm just going to catch up here. Oh, Larry was just chasing me. Really sick. Hence my quali, he says. Right, okay. So, yeah, really sick. But he's here anyway, like a brave boy. He's going to do his best for the team and not put a reserve driver in. So, the result doesn't want to load, which is fair enough. But, like I say, we've done what we can to try and get those liveries set up. Get a quick look at the liveries on the right hand of screen. The ones that didn't show before. So hopefully the Audis are looking a bit better now here. But yes, qualifying ended a little bit ahead of what I thought, unless the new protocol is to stop at exactly the 10-minute mark, which I guess is what happened. But Don't Need Time was on a hot lap. There may be some complaints going on that he was right there. I think it's fair enough to add that little bit of extra time, but I know that the league are being extra careful to try and make sure that we get everybody starting on time and that we don't just add issues one after the other. So I'm looking forward to seeing the liveries today. I've been told that Team 404 Motorsport have changed. Kiroskai is saying he believes safety car is 17. That is absolutely correct. That's the information I have got from Junkai. So that's going to be interesting. Red is pleased that we have a Peugeot on the grid. Well, here we go then, and we'll look forward to Polio Loco and everybody's new liveries, Predators as well. But it's time to go and get that first portion of the race underway. 60 minutes around the great track of get off there around the great track. Together. There we go. Okay. We got 60 minutes around Fuji for round 2 of the championship. And it's dropped the clutch and go. Clubhouse with a good launch initially. Junkai away well as well. And it's Don't Need Time playing catch up and right away from the start. I think he's going to be side by side with Junkai. I just hope we don't get anybody going bowling into the fray. Preston down the inside, but he got the car stopped really nicely to the apex. Usually you see incidents and accidents. I remember one of my first races for Davian was right here, and we did have plenty of issues, but it's Globas who manages to get away very nicely away from the start, and he has got a half-second advantage over Don't Need Time. He's just wringing the neck of that Peugeot. Hard tyres on the front drivers at this stage, front 4. As there goes Preston being challenged by Berman to the inside as well. Preston on the hard tyres, as is Berman, I believe. No, Berman has gone onto the mediums. So Berman is looking aggressive at this stage, trying to go around the outside as they approach in towards Dunlop. But yeah, no way through at this stage for him. Another little look on the rise on the blind crested corner of turn 11 today. Berman trying to get that input as Mercury in the second of the Mercedes AMGs has Comacopa right with him. Mercury on the hards, Comacopa on the mediums and going for the inside line into Panasonic. This will help on the way through the next few corners because he'll have the opportunity now to get the slipstream from the cars in front as well. A fabulous new livery, sunburst effect livery. As the drivers are they pitting? They are. They're all pitting on lap 1 to get the hard tyre out of the way. Absolutely astonishing to see many of our leading drivers head on into the pits on the first flying lap here. We'll have a quick look at the start replays momentarily. And we've got Larry spun in the pits. Larry has not made it into the pit lane, and Sully can't get in our safety car as Larry does the full Austin Powers turn to get in. And Glovas leads the race then ahead of Don't Need Time with Sackboy on the car as well. Comacopa's got himself into third place thanks to those surprising pit stops. Comacopa is on the medium with Mercury on the hard tyres. Has not gone with the plan from many of our hard tyres starting drivers. So really interesting to see that one. And Asian Persuasion in that 6th place. So let's have a look at the start. Arcane hit Larry, we're being told, on the way in. This is through the first corner at the start of the race. As the drivers head towards Coca-Cola turn 3, you can see the gaping maw of Camzilla, the shark for Team Predators, trying to make a move. But actually, everybody very, very well behaved on the way through here. Just check in, see that we didn't miss any major incidents on the way through. And we're back to live action then, as Camzilla is ahead of Asian Persuasion. And then we've got our second batch of drivers, the second peloton, if you will, as John Kai leading Preston here. And they have switched to the medium tyre early doors. Kuroskai saying that he was hit by Arcane, but we only have Larry's word for that one at this stage. Preston then tucked right up under the under the rear wing of the Honda NSX for Team Polio Loco. He's bump drafting. He's not interested in making the pass at this point. Sorry, it's not Team Polio Loco. No, they are cooperating, these two Hondas, as they go down the inside. He's also got a golf sponsorship Titleist on his rear wing as well. Glovas in 7th, Berman moving into 8th place then for the Team Builder team in the Lamborghini. Then we've got Glovas in 7th. We've got Chaotica in 9th, Zen in 10th, Floody in 11th position there in the Audi for Team Van der Vaart. And they have taken the yellow off the car for this Japanese round. And Larry down in 13th place on the medium tyres. Arcane is heading into the pits anyway, off the hard tyre himself. And Don't Need Time is in the lead of the race. So have we had an issue for for our leader here, potentially? Let's see. As I just went to see, I think our leader went into the pits. Glovas, potentially. I think he did. So I think that's Glovas into the pits from the lead of the race. Don't Need Time as your new leader. He is doubling down on the hard tyre usage and getting that early lead then, an early period under on the hard tyres, but he's got clear air on the front splitter. Camzilla versus Asian Persuasion down the one of the longest straights of the year. It's Camzilla losing out under the top speed advantage of the GTR Nismo National Guard livery. I don't know if that's specifically for Memorial Day for Asian Persuasion here. But yeah, certainly rocking the NASCAR National Guard livery on the Nismo. It's quite a good car suited for our for the NASCAR team, the Nismo. Wouldn't quite look right doing that with Ferraris, would it? But hey, this is where we are. Anyway, so we've got Preston ahead of Junkai. We've gone for the KFC liveries here today, although Junkai has just gone for some slogans rather than a complete redesign. Still Chick-fil-A on here, and Glovas former leader of the race on the fresh mediums. Looking good, looking like he's got pace. And this is the Napster sponsored Team 404 Motorsport livery today. Black to green fade as well with a blue intermediary colour. Very nicely done there from the designers. I think that's a GloVas design. Yeah, they firmed that, so making sure that his livery looks smart and good. Hands up those in chat if you remember Napster. If you don't, ask the question. I don't want to treat everybody like idiots, but Napster was a moment in music history. Into the pits then comes Don't Need Time. Again, he's decided that those hard tyres are not the way to go today. A reminder that the drivers do have to use the two available compounds, the medium and the hards, through the course of the race, but there is no minimum tyre time or time lap count. Arcane for Team NASCAR is in P14. Larry has picked himself back into 13th at this point. When I hear of Napster, I think of the Italian job. Ooh, now I'm going to need a little bit of information about that. Yeah, I wasn't a Napster guy. I was what was the other one? Began with a K, and it's already slipped my mind. I wasn't LimeWire. Commentator leads Asian Persuasion. Remember, Commentator racing in VR, as does Izzy, I should say. And there goes Asian Persuasion, just out onto the dirt, although the amount of lag on the car does indicate that it may not be all as it seems on car 143. It's got the Impala sticker on the front and the Chevy badge, but it is definitely an Nismo GTR. Commentator leads us then. Medium tyres as he started with. Of course, he's going to have to switch over onto the hard tyre unless he decides to one lap it during the safety car period. Here is Team Predator, team captain, as he runs through. I think it's a Dragon special for Commentator, and it's Team 1-2 at the moment for the Predators. Commentator ahead of Camzilla. Now that Asian Persuasion pits as well, and he pits off the medium tyre. A complete change of strategies going on here. Preston, GloVas, Junkai fighting over P3 for now at least, as GloVas is going to try and go all the way around the outside here of these two Hondas who are going to be able to work together, and GloVas can't get that P3 at this stage in the Mercedes AMG, stuck between two Hondas. The NSX GT3, of course, that Team Polio Loco are racing. With the black front on Preston's, it kind of disguises which car it is, but of course you can see the Honda badge eventually. As Kuroskai says, someone tell John Kite not to have a cow, man. Italian job. Right, okay. Interesting. I didn't know that about, I didn't remember that from the Italian job, because my mind immediately goes to the original Italian job movie, which wouldn't have been talking about Napster. There goes GloVas, struggling, but he's actually gone for the outside line that becomes the inside into Net's corner. That's a smart old move, that one from GloVas. The question is, can he hold it? He gets the inside line on the way into Panasonic. I think he will keep it, but the Mercedes is going to give up a hell of a tow down the start-finish straight. Let's see the actual move as he went for it here into turn 10. Fade to the inside, nice little dummy, goes a long way around the outside on the way through turn 11. That gives him the tuck-in inside line through Net's corner. So very smart little move there, but can he hold on to it all the way down to the Daiichi corner, turn 1? It looks good, but Preston's gone for it down the inside. GloVas is going to have to leave the inside line here, and he does so. Stays on the racing line on the exit. GloVas should give him the inside line on the way through in towards Coca-Cola. They may have touched, it's hard to tell on the way through here, but still too much apex at turn 3, and you are in trouble from the stewards. They are very strict about turn 3 cuts. GloVas looks like he's done the job here, and now the cars are starting to queue up behind Polio Loco. It's Junkai versus Preston. Junkai forced into a move there, I think, momentarily, as the KFC branded Polio Loco car of Preston just holds on, but enter the fray, Chaotica and Don't Need Time, who have both had very good speed at various points here. This is a tremendous racetrack for racing, for overtaking, for those switchback moves, and the fact that we're using different configurations. How about this from Chaotica down the inside in towards turn 11 in the Final Fantasy 7? 8? I'm not sure, I can't read Roman numerals at that distance. We'll look into it later for Team Sony Interactive as they head down in towards that right-hander of Panasonic now. Junkai ahead by enough, and we'll hope to try and get the slipstream off the back of his teammate. But here, riding on board with Don't Need Time, everybody trying to get that precious slipstream, and it's helping the Renaults versus the Hondas. Certainly Chaotica is making his way through. Look at those rain clouds above. It is likely to rain. It looks like it's very, very imminent, this rain at this stage. Don't Need Time is taking it very steady into turn 1, expecting problems in front, I think, and trying to get that manoeuvre done. Zen is starting to follow up, but here comes Don't Need Time to the outside. He's found that little bit of room, but Junkai has the inside line in towards turn 3. That should mean that Don't Need Time can manage to time this one nicely enough. It's so hard not to make puns with Don't Need Time's name. He's racing, I think he's indicating that he's in the VR2 as well, having Sackboy wearing the PSVR2. I hope that Gus sticks around until lap 17, Alexandra, so that he can give me his livery opinions as well. It's always important. And Charlie, if she's still there too. And that was Berman just using the dirt on the exit. In 10th, his Floody. And then Larry in 12th place at the moment in the Lamborghini for Team Builder. Arcane in 13th position right now, and things not working quite so well. Komakopa, well, he's headed towards the pit lane. I'm surprised about this because looking at the clouds in the sky, my anticipation here is that the rain is coming in, and when the rain comes in Fuji, it can come in incredibly hard and very quickly, and of course with a long lap you can do half a lap. I wonder if the drivers are looking at the radar and thinking about it. Do I detect the odd drop of rain? Well, the wipers haven't come on yet for our fabulous drivers here, so we shall wait and see. But surely it's worth waiting and sticking out for the rain to actually appear. You can't fit intermediates before the rain has actually arrived. Here comes Komakopa. He's gone on the hard tyres, so maybe he feels like the weather is coming in a lap's time, and he can just shed those hards as quickly as possible. Let me just join. There's the wipers are on Mercury's car, so Mercury, at least his automated windscreen for the Mercedes, tells him that there is some rain on the track. There's no standing water at this stage, so Komakopa has come in for the hard tyres. But surely all tyre choices are off the table as soon as we have to use the intermediates. So I wonder why anybody stuck the hards on when they were expecting rain in the middle third of the cycle. First of the rain, says Jim. Each tyre is just over 6 minutes of weather, but it will, I'm certain, get heavy at some point in the next 15-16 minutes time. I think we're going to have some significant precipitation on the cars. This is riding on board with Camzilla. He gets the advantage here of using Berman and Berman's grip as a reference point. Doesn't even have to read the road particularly, but nothing is happening in terms of standing water. But the question is, do you pit now for intermediates now that you can see the rain? Here it is. You can see bottom left of your screen next to the tyre. You can now see that there is standing water on the racetrack. So here we go. So Doof gives me the information. Thank you, Doof. That you do now have to use the required tyre types. That's really interesting info. So this season you do have to use the required dry tyres, even if rain does appear. So there you have it. Into the pits comes Preston. New set of Bridgestones waiting for him, but they look like slicks. I imagine they're not slicks, in fact, and the drivers are all in the pit lane now, fueling up because the fuel difference doesn't matter in the rain as much. In comes Floody as well, and here is Berman there. Full wet tyres, full wet, not even intermediates going on board. The drivers at the front here, full wet. Look at the standing water already. We're up to over 50% standing water. Glovas has picked up a 3-second penalty. Wow. So as Jim says, 7 minutes from R8, definite heavy rain, but as is typical here in Fuji, the rain came and it poured in one foul swoop, even though we only selected the second most intense form of rain, and Glovass is squirreling away here, squirming and trying to keep that Mercedes AMG pointing in the right direction. He's out on the white line, he's out on the curb as well, and he's going to hurt from that 3-second penalty. Don't need time is in second, as they were from the very start of the race. The drivers have managed to get straight back to where they were before. This is absolute monsoon situation on the track, standing water situation. We've only had 16 minutes of racing, and we are already all over the shop in terms of how this is going for everybody. The Hondas, Team Pollo Loco, are racing in P4 and P5. Sorry, no, scratch that. Preston is in 4th. Comacopa for Predators, another red, white and black car, which is the Predators livery Ferrari today, in P5. Here is the rain. It says astonishing. You're absolutely right. So it is going to feel like driving or piloting a boat rather than actually racing. Look at this on board for Comacopa. I can tell you that on the PSVR2, this is takes the atmospherics to something else. You can actually hear the rain falling at different places on your roof. Down we go, trusting in to luck here for the braking zone in towards turn 1. Preston had the advantage to a certain extent. He could sit it on the outside and try and wait, but Comacopa, standing water is crazy already in Fuji, and you can understand why in 1976 Niki Lauda refused to race in conditions very similar to this. They didn't have headlights, of course, and they had even less grip in these conditions, but I guess fortune favoured the braver at that point in terms of how much people were willing to risk their lives. Of course, Niki that season had a real insight into how close death could be for Formula One, and wasn't in a mood to try and risk it again. Out goes Chaotica into the mud, into the squelching mire on the exit of turn 10. That allows Glovass through, does it? Chaotica and Glovass side by side. This is very dangerous for these two. One little touch under full lock load is going to spin the cars. Huge. Oh, there goes Chaotica with a slide. Don't Need Time leads us. Ahead of this group, it's Glovass in second, Chaotica in third, and as Jim said, spoke too soon. I think anybody committing to a podium prediction right now would be the bravest among the brave. Car 72, Comacopa in 4th position, has navigated this period very well indeed. I think the driver's shedding those 2 dry tyres early doors. This explains it for me, that they're expecting to run wet or intermediate tyres for the remainder of the race, or at least want that option, so don't want to have to switch onto a dry tyre while it is still wet at the end of the race to satisfy the criteria. In comes Camzilla then in Daiichi corner, doesn't make the move stick. Mercury manages to come through safely enough. Now the Audi, as far as my latest information goes, the Audi is a good car in the wet to have, as Berman drops down into that turn 1. You can see the camber change through the corner from that camera angle. Larry is running in 12th with the Flu, and Arcane in 13th place. I wonder whether Larry, I guess he probably got ill too late in the day to help the team out by substituting a driver, but at the moment I don't think he's going to be picking up as many points as a substitute driver might have had the opportunity to. Chaotica in third, Comacopa chasing him down in 4th place. This is what it feels like on board with Comacopa in the Ferrari for the Predators Racing crew. It's a minute, minute 21 and a half at the moment. We're waiting for that lap 17 for the safety car. The drivers will be begging that safety car to come out as quickly as possible, but of course the slower they go in the rain, the longer that's going to take to actually happen. But Jim's saying, have to remember, reserve driver positions do not give the team points. Oh wow, that was a crazy one from Comacopa. Let's have another look at that one, as it looked like came out of nowhere, that particular move. Commentator to the outside, and then a nice little switch back here. Often drivers manage to find the grip offline in the wet, because that's where there is less slick, wet rubber deposits from the tyres, and so they're actually making more contact with the asphalt surface than the wet rubber surface that they rely on so much in the dry. Commentator versus Chaotica, remember, continues. And yeah, Jim's just saying that reserve drivers do not give the team points. That's an interesting regulation for me. I'm not quite sure why you would field a reserve driver in that instance, but there you go. I'd love to hear the rationale behind that one, because that is a confusion for me. My natural assumption would have been that reservists could contribute points. Predator Racing moving through nicely. I see they've stolen the bottom half of the Deviant Racing logo for the top half of it, which is sneaky. So Mercury on the back of this triplicate. Preston comes in a Mercury, fighting over 5th place at the moment. Then back to Zen, uncharacteristically out there in 8th place, possibly just biding his time, shedding those tyres, burning off the fuel, hoping to be in a better place later on. Junkai P9, championship leader Nismo, not with us today in his Nismo. Floody should be good in the wet, surely, but running 10th at the moment. A little drift from the Audi. S. Berman in the wedge-shaped Lamborghini, which you imagine is shedding more water out of the air. And you've got Lowry running there for Team Builder as well in 12th place. Not the best race portion here for Team Builder. And Arcane at the very back of the grid in the NASCAR with the Tootsie. I think that's Tootsie Rolls, right? Livery for the Nismo. It's got Nissan on the back wing though, so not fully committing to the NASCAR stealth. Here is Don't Need Time. That might be a rainbow for Pride Month on the rear quarter of the car. There's Glovass running 2nd, Chaotica from Commentator. Very low engine growl of the Mercedes as he passes our fixed camera position. Let's just head back then. We've got Preston in 5th and Camzilla in 6th. Joining Camzilla, who has a single windshield wiper. If there's any real advantage to visibility for the drivers over a dual windshield wiper setup, but looks like the rain is being cleared. It's not raining too heavily at the moment. A sign of a dry line starting to develop, possibly drier line certainly, but there are puddles throughout this Fuji speedway. There's a lot of camber change on the corners. Preston certainly not scared of using the painted surface on the road. Here is Camzilla. He's on the intermediate tyres, where other drivers were on the full wet. I think he's trying to cool those intermediates at the moment, getting off the racing line. That's the plan here at the moment, I think. You can hear the rain on the windshield, on the roof of the car. That's a nice move coming up in front there. That's Chaotica versus Commentator. Commentator all the way around the outside this time, and claiming the inside line for turn 3. Coca-Cola. This is how it went down off board. This is Commentator to the outside. Chaotica closing in on the braking zone. Commentator just about managing to hang on there, but Chaotica, I think, not expecting Commentator to catch him to quite that degree on the way through the corner. I think that opens the track up then. Commentator in P3 ahead of Chaotica, but again the car's just on a constant voyage of discovery with this standing water on the racetrack, up to 2/3 of 66% standing water, we should say, presumably, as we go through. R8 weather tile beginning, says Jim. So that's a lot. I mean, Jim, I understand the situation and why Larry is driving for sure now. Much better, thank you. But what I don't understand is why we have the rule the reserve drivers can't contribute points. But there you go. If you've got that info, let me know. Preston in 5th, Camzilla in 6th, and Mercury in 7th, but Comacopa leading Chaotica in P3. Don't Need Time is still in the outright lead of the race, ahead of Glovas, as we wait for the safety car to come in. And it looks like if the fully wet, the maximum rain setting is about to start, it couldn't come soon enough. The safety car couldn't come soon enough for our racers here. Into the pits come several of them to get off the current tyre they're on. That's a mixture of intermediate and wet tyre runners. So some sort of disagreement here. Comacopa has come in as well, and he's come off the tyres. Now, what's the decision here? Because it's hardly a universal decision from intermediates and wets. Is it just the fact that they're wearing through? Well, these wets aren't wearing at all on Chaotica's car. So it'll be interesting to see. The intermediates are not wearing either. The drivers, I think, are just going too slowly for the tyres. Certainly, they can't be thinking about a dry compound at this stage. That would be absolutely crazy. But the last opportunity to pit before the safety car has now happened. So I suppose it's a free change of tyres. Don't Need Time isn't bothering. Oh, and out on the mud and the dirt on the exit of turn 10 was Don't Need Time. Let's again have another look at what happened with him on the way through turn 10. He's just run out of available grip. So you can see the rain whipping in now. Stay off the curbs, and then just a little bit of overspeed. Didn't actually downshift there very wisely to avoid spinning up the rear tyres on the Peugeot. It's a squat, let's be kind, quite chunky race car. And do we have a safety car coming out? We do. We have Sully just sliding around. I hope Sully's put the wet tyres on. He's gone for intermediates to have a little slidey time out there. So Don't Need Time will come through. He doesn't need the fuel, it seems. So I wonder if he filled with fuel earlier on, so that he didn't have to go through this. So let's have a really close look then at our liveries, and I do want to hear from Larry's kids here as to their favourite liveries. So this is Sackboy from Little Big Planet in the Sony Interactive series of games. That's cool. I like the fact that this one is wearing a PSVR2 helmet on this side. Then we've got the Napster livery we saw earlier, but a nice up close. Great way to steal music, Napster was. Final Fantasy, it's Final Fantasy 7, but it could have been any of the Final Fantasy series, quite frankly, with the livery, but very nice. It's a bit hard to see the transfers on the back louvered window there for the French manufacturer, but yeah, nice to see classic games being represented. Then we've got the Vandervaart, which means Miracle or Wonder Drive. Rowdy Audi got on the side there, but going full on in for their Japanese map of Japan. They've got Mount Fuji, the Japanese rising sun. We've got the cherry blossom. We've got a samurai on the back window. So yeah, not leaving much in the way of imagination here as to where we're racing today. The Washington Commanders and the W for Floody, as well as the standard livery options. Here is the Predator, and I think we've gone full Japanese Dragon here for Predator racing. So yes, Sunburst Japanese livery for Comacopa. Try and catch all the details here. Love the Final Fantasy 7 livery, says Bongit. Got the Napster one, had that one there, the KFC for Team Pollo Loco, Crazy Chicken. And that strange Titleist livery as well, which is odd. But I like the little Tamiya livery on the back wheel arch, and if they've gone for Mountain Dew as well, yes they have indeed, on Honda NSX. So the reason behind the Predator name is for predators of the natural world, of the animal kingdom. I don't know if it's restricted to marine life, thanks to Comacopa's career specialty, or if it is that we will be seeing other ones. But this is a shark, I believe, designed and realised by Glovas. Then the Chick-fil-A cow livery for John Kai for Polio Loco, and the Team Builder. Now, Team Builder were a bit of a surprise for me last race, because they were racing with a Jamaican Cool Runnings themed livery in the GTD team. But I've got a theory. I haven't heard the truth around this. Team Builder is a gym and personal trainer and sports team coach app. And so my theory here is that the GTD pros are going to run this very professional looking livery, and the GTDs are going to run famous sports teams liveries of throughout history. That's my best guess anyway. This is the Tutsi NASCAR team Nismo for Arcane in 12th. The Larry's in the Team Builder Noir version of the livery, and then we've got our fantastic golden safety camera as well. Thank you to the league for adding the Webbo stickers on there, which is very gratefully received as well. So I'd love to hear from our audience as to your favourite of the liveries today, especially the special liveries today. Always good to hear from our viewing audience as to what is good. So Alexandra says we like Comacopa's Predator livery. Comacopa is in P6 at the moment. Comacopa is running in the Japanese livery and the Dragon. But I also like KFC. Excellent. Okay, so no love for the Shark. I see. Or Team Van der Vert as well. As we get ready to go green flag racing, the safety car has got in. We will go green flag racing as soon as we cross that start finish line, and it is go for the start of the second portion of the race with 26 minutes to run. Whose money is on an absolute melee into turn 1 here? We've got Zen drawing alongside Chaotica as they head down towards turn 1. This is anybody's guess as to who's going to arrive out of turn 1 safely. That's Floody with a good closing speed. That's another quite tight one from Junkai on the outside. But what absolute pro driving from the pack here. All cycling through without a major incident, as Donny Time is on the defensive versus Glovas as they run through Coca-Cola turn 3. And Donny Time just hanging on at this stage. But full wet tyres for Donny Time and for Glovas Chaotica. I think now everybody has decided on those tyres, as I think there was a little touch between the two of them as they run through. That looked like Donny Time was reacting to a little shove from the rear. The tiniest little push would be all it would take to spin these cars around, as Donny Time leads Glovas Chaotica. And then Glovas goes for the move. Glovas was very wide because Donny Time disappeared off the racetrack. Let's just check in with what just happened for him. He's on the outside as they come through. I wondered, was there another touch here? Going down in towards... Whoa, it's just a complete aquaplaning snap from Don't Need Time. That will have to serve as a real warning to the rest of the drivers near him on track, because that could happen to anybody. Don't Need Time down to 4th place, but not down and out just yet. Switchback move coming from Preston to the inside of Floody for the KFC livery Polio Loco team. We'll just see where Preston is. He couldn't quite complete the manoeuvre. Floody getting the power down very nicely through Panasonic corner as we go down the start-finish straight. Once again, it's lap 19. It is minute 35 of the hour as we head down in towards turn 1. And Don't Need Time is right there. Floody looks to try and get on into the corner as Preston climbs all over the apex curve. Mercury should have a better run out of the corner. And then we've got some action happening. Camzilla on the inside of Berman. Those roles reverse as Berman gets that Lamborghini caught straight back up. It is Ferrari versus Lamborghini into the Coca-Cola turn 3. And Camzilla still pushing incredibly hard to try and get this one round the outside of the 100R corner. There's a long stop heading to the left now, down into the hairpin, as in front of them Mercury is trying to get underneath Preston's Honda around the inside of the hairpin. As we peer through the murk and the moisture in the air, it is incredibly hard for anybody to see anything. Mercury out onto the puddles. Preston also going for a move now on the Rowdy Audi in front of him. It's powered by KFC, Cooking Fat and Mountain Dew, I think, right now. On the outside goes Preston. That was too wide. It's looking for the wet line, but it's not to be found that far off the racing line. And Mercury then will try and close in. How about this from Don't Need Time? He's gone straight back into second position, passing no lesser driver than Zen on the inside. And Zen is now hung out because Chaotica got a better run going down out of Panasonic, and he's got the slipstream on the back. But I can barely see the cars through the murk and gloom. Let's join Chaotica on board because, join Zen on board as Chaotica goes across the front of the car. Chaotica actually turning quite severely to the right as he brakes. There was nobody there to be blocking, but that was a defensive move from him as we look behind and see the disappearing headlights of first the Audi of Floody, then Mercury just behind in the AMG. Wow, it is so atmospheric, it is so enjoyable. And there is the turn 3 penalty that I was talking about earlier on, that Zen has now picked up, and while the cars are so close together, that's going to really hurt him. Glovas is out and away in the lead of this race by a very large distance, but Don't Need Time has certainly had the speed today to make moves towards the front again. Oh, Chaotica, exit stage left. I can't decide by the look of things whether that's a full-on mechanical issue for Chaotica. Looks like he can steer the car, so I think that was just that same or very similar patch of rain that caught out Don't Need Time on the previous lap. You're coming through this 300R corner, and then you just got to slide, tank slapper, then nothing you can do at that point, and a horrible feeling as he has damaged the car as well. So perhaps having to pit now, Chaotica, and that is bitterly disappointing for him. Fighting over the top positions earlier on. We still have over 20 minutes of running in this race as Alexandra is cheering on Berman here, team captain of the team builder. Look at Glovas' lead, 4.4 seconds, and that's only a couple of laps after the safety car. Here comes Floody on Zen with that penalty. Floody and Mercury passing Zen now, but a real trust in your brakes situation as you head down into turn 1. I'm not sure. We've got 3 wide going on at the moment as there's Berman on the outside of Komakopa with Larry now. Hopefully the adrenaline of racing starting to kick in for Larry. If he does perform well, Alexandra, just do note that adrenaline does funny things to people's health, and then they crash afterwards in terms of their overall feeling. It's not man flu that's cured by sim racing temporarily, I'm sure. As Komakopa comes through, he's in 10th. Larry is yapping away at Komakopa's heels. Larry pushing hard now in the Lamborghini, trying to get his way through. We're gonna have to start asking Gus and Charlie's favourite liveries that aren't their father's race cars, I think. There's Chaotica in the Final Fantasy VII livery as Glovas leads the race. As Alexandra says, no, if he can race, he can build me a bookshelf. Love it, love it. I tried, Larry, I tried. My good friend. But she's not buying any of what I'm selling. Don't Need Time in P2. 6.3 seconds now off Glovas' lead. What a strong race Glovas is having. Great time to start building the speed like this. Given the time that he commits to designing people's liveries for them, I think Glovas spends as much time designing liveries as I do commentating in a week. As comes in as in P5 and heading on down in towards a potential move coming in for P4, and another one behind them for P6. This is Junkai down the inside of Preston. That should be fairly clean stuff between the two Hondas, but unfortunately it did seem to hold up Preston. Berman can now start to strike. Here comes Berman to the inside onto the Coca-Cola turn 3. Avoid that apex, avoid getting absolutely mobbed in the rear as well. Berman got hit quite hard by Preston, but that was Preston trying to make a switchback work. Here we go. We'll switch cars momentarily. You can see Preston then to the outside trying to switch back, but Berman naturally had to go slower at the apex. Little touch, but at this stage at least, Preston quite happy to just keep pushing and not give the place back. But he has ended up losing out to Berman there. So as they head down into turn 10, it's academic whether that place should have been given back or not. Larry's in 9th. On the wet tyres. Everybody, well, I was just about to say everybody on the wet tyres, but here is Zen, who has got in and switched on to, well, certainly using the intermediate tyres at this stage. It hasn't seemed to buy him anything, but maybe if it dries up at the end of the race, it will buy him some better running. But of course, they will shred in the warmer temperatures in the dry track much slower than the wets will. Obviously that's the point of the intermediate tyre, is that they can work in that intermediate point between full wet and dry running, but at the moment at least not a lot to separate the two tyres. 149 Zen, Larry 152. It does look like actually that the intermediates are the tyre to be on at this stage. Zen 49.7 was quick, but of course he had a 158.3 the lap prior, so that's where he's lost that time. Arcane in 11th, Comacopa in 12th, Chaotica down in 13th position in the Peugeot, not going his way at all today, as Glovas, his lead now, 7.8 seconds with 16 minutes and a half to go. Amazing stuff from Glovas today. Mercury doing his best now to chase down Don't Need Time, to join him on the hood of the expansive hood of the Mercedes AMG. You hear that splash? That was the car going through a puddle. It is that atmospheric here in GT7. A big wiggle for Mercury, trying to get that Mercedes hooked up into the apexes of the corners, but not getting too greedy with the apexes or the exits, as you really do struggle to lose time through there. There was a glint, possibly a glint of sun in the background there. Certainly some reflections coming on the racetrack surface. Floody in 5th, Junkai in 6th, and then behind them you've got Berman in 7th. Let's see if Berman can use the slipstream with the previously driver's choice Lamborghini car. It's possible the Ferrari is now the main choice to be had. See a car just in the distance there, using the wetter side of the racetrack to cool their tyres. Drivers just fully exploring anywhere on the racetrack to try and get those exits nice and neat and tidy. Junkai going for the move, potentially on his yellow headlight alike rival in front. It's difficult to tell these liveries apart when everybody goes white and red for Japan, especially in the spray. But that is the Audi of Team Van der Vaart ahead of Team Polio Local's Honda NSX. So Floody runs through. Floody's also got that Washington Commanders W, yellow W on the car as well. Here is Junkai gaining this stage, and that is Floody off into the flooded section of the racetrack. Can he regain his position here? Junkai just can't go at the gap particularly confidently here. Let's see what that looked like, shall we? And it's this transition. section of the racetrack. Floody was already slightly sideways, but Junkai just having to be so careful so as not to run into Floody that he couldn't actually make the overtake. And look, it is brightening up here on the racetrack for everybody. You can see it is starting to clear, so maybe this will be advantage intermediate runners now. We'll have a look at the pace that Zen is running momentarily. Just check to the left, check behind. S. Berman missing out a little bit, possibly. Oh no, he is gaining on top speed. I'll try for the switchback here, and you can see the bright sun now catching in the mist. That the spray that the drivers are kicking up is like it's sun on a misty day or a foggy day. Really problematic. 1:47 that time, 47.8 for Zen. He is getting quicker here on the intermediate tyres as the water starts to shed off the racetrack. He can stay on the racing line. The wet drivers will be trying to use the wet line on the racetrack, I'm sure. And Larry running in 10th place now, which is good going at this stage. Astonishing, saying the track is so treacherous. I won't I won't talk about the spelling, yeah. Arcade at 11th and Komakopa down in 12th, and this has to be a disappointment for Komakopa given where he was running earlier on. But maybe the Ferrari is not particularly happy in the wet, or he hasn't got a wet setup organised. You have to say, everybody was fully prepared for rain today. It's no surprise. It was on the calendar, on the calendar poster for this season that this race would feature rain. So no excuses, I think. The lead now out front for Glovas, 8 seconds, wet tyres. But if it does continue to dry up, then the wet tyres will be next to useless before the end of the race. We've got some close running here. This is Floody chasing down Camzilla for 4th place. Behind them, we've got a battle for 6th as well. Berman right on the tail of Junkai. Here comes Floody to the outside as Camzilla defends to the inside, but it does look like there's better grip on the outside of Daiichi corner. If you could just stay alongside your rival, you're in a great place for the following left-hander into Coca-Cola. Camzilla trying to crowd out Floody, and he just keeps the nose ahead. Further back, Zen and Preston are fighting, but Preston holds on to 8th place. There hasn't been the kind of fireworks I was half expecting today, but there is Camzilla in 5th place, chasing down Floody, who had his own issue earlier, just going off the racetrack momentarily. Floody is on the intermediate tyres as well, and definitely a dry line on the racetrack. Up front, in front of this group, Mercury chasing and challenging. Don't need time now into the Dunlop corner. There's no way through at this stage, but it's advanced the Audis with those intermediate tyres at this stage. You have to say they'll be in better shape at the end of the race. The wet tyre runners, if it continues to dry out like this, it's almost like it never rained in the sky. The clouds have cleared so quickly in this mountain region of Japan, and Mercury kicking out plenty of spray still, but the wet tyre drivers are going to have to start exploring those wetter sections of track and get off the dry racing line. That's exactly what Camzilla and Junkai are doing. You can see going over to that lighter coloured section of the track where all the water is, and trying to keep those tyres in a good operating window, but with 10 minutes to go, I really am concerned that the wet runners are going to be able to make the end of this race. I think that those wet tyres will now start wearing like they've never worn out before. Here is Zen in the intermediate tyres. He is 14 seconds, actually that's not much away from the race win here today. Don't count out Zen for a podium is my call at this stage, as we wait to see what Floody is going to be able to do. 42-second lap, or 1 minute 42 that lap. He gained 3 seconds on his previous lap, where Mercury's in front of him running a 44. So it looks like Floody is going to be right there come the end of this race. Glovas' lead down to 6.4 seconds. He's having to be quite careful on those wet tyres. He needs to get off that dry line now. In between the corners, he needs to be exploring as wide as possible, because those wet tyres will wear at the rate of a set of softs. once you can see he's already moving around a great deal. Don't Need Time is out there. Mercury is looking pretty good on the wet, but advance Floody for Team Van der Vaart at this stage as he tries to really profit from that brave decision to go onto the intermediate tyres. He'll also try and cool the tyres a little bit, I imagine, but here he comes then. He's got a couple of miles an hour of speed difference as the drivers pit in from second and third. The drivers on the wet tyres have now pitted, so is Mercury. Globas from the lead as well. Floody goes into the lead of this race. Kamzilla's in second, and there is Zen into third place. Junkai in fourth, and Junkai is on the wet tyres. So you have to say he's been passed now by Zen. Zen will go off in pursuit of Kamzilla, whose wet tyres are completely dead and buried. You have to just completely useless at this point, despite the fact that he's got a shark livery on. The wet tyres are not helping at all. So Kamzilla, Junkai behind, still on the wet tyres, staying out, perhaps waiting for the track to be completely dry. What did Globas choose to do? Soft tyres with about 8 minutes to go once the rain stopped and the wet tyres were no longer usable. That's good because the softs are the most grippy tyre in the wet to dry conditions. But is it too much tyre wear till the end of the race as he runs round, still really feeling the grip here? 7.5 minutes remain for our GTDPRO. Don't forget, coming up we've got the GTD race as well. So looking forward to seeing that one very, very soon. And here is Chaotica in P9 running, and he was in 13th earlier on. We've got soft tyres for Berman. We've got medium tyres for Larry. He didn't fancy the softs to the end of the race. Arcane in 12th is also on the soft tyres. Komakopa's gone to the mediums. But Floody could see this race out. We're running 1 minute 42 laps now. No quicker on that lap from Floody. Whereas Zen has got two consecutive 1 minute 40 laps. So he is definitely pushing incredibly hard, Zen, and has to be the favourite here, I think, for the win at this stage. Genius strategy from Team Van der Vaart in the Audis. Really making the absolute best out of the difficult conditions today. It's lap 30. It is minute 54 of the 60, and now they've got a gap. Kamzilla, well, where is the gap to the nearest dry tyre runner? That is Globas, 16.5, with probably, I want to say 3-4 laps to go, maybe. That's a big ask. But of course they're on the dry tyre. The Globas and Don't Need Time out on the wet part of the track on those dry tyres. Just so used to running on the wet side in the wetter tyres that they're sort of using the wrong part of the track, really. But yeah, quite a big gap. 16.7 isn't closing at the speed it needs to, at the rate that it needs to, but of course the track will continue to get drier throughout the course of the remaining 3 or 4 laps that we've got for you. Up front, Floody is just 3/4 of a second ahead of teammate Zen. This would be tremendous for the Team Van der Vaart team standings. Here is Floody then. I love the sound of that Audi. From certain camera angles, certain microphone distances, that Audi sounds absolutely incredible. And there is Zen, almost colliding with the back of his teammate, such is his speed. Kamzilla now pits from 7th place, so that decision neither here nor there, really. Junkai, I think, is going to try and ride this one out. That's someone going a little bit wrong in the background. That was Preston, I think, off the racetrack on the wet tyres. This is Preston using the wet side of the track just to cool off those wet tyres, get them reactivated for the upcoming braking zone into Daiichi corner, but it left it too late. Very little grip out there, but he held on to it nicely enough. We are going for bright sunshine to finish the race after having a absolute downpour mid-race today. Mercury's in 7th, he's on the soft tyres. That gap is still 16.4 to the leader. There is Camzilla, who's pitted and come out in P8 now on the soft tyres. Long distance away as Lowry is fighting hard with Chaotica. Lowry to the inside and a 3 wide into the hairpin here. That was very smooth from everybody making it through there. Lowry and Chaotica, I think, getting Arcane as they run through. Zen has got into the lead of the race. Let's see if I can maybe catch that, but I may be too late. My apologies if I am slightly too late. But Zen has finally unlocked that P1. So let's go back down to that battle we were just enjoying of Arcane and Chaotica, both chasing Lowry's P10 at the moment. Fuji now fully visible in the background as we go down to 3 minutes to go before the checkered flag will come out. So 2 more for these drivers for sure. It's Chaotica from P12, wet tyres. I don't think he can hang on for another 3 minutes. It's kind of pointless now for him. Medium tyres for Komakopa. Day to forget, I think, for Komakopa, despite running so high for so long in this race. Zen P1, and well, still on the intermediates. Now that the times are dropping off, 42.6 on the lap that he spent passing his teammate. But their advantage is so great now. Glovas is 5.5 seconds only away from the 2 leaders. It's not all over yet because he's on the soft tyres, so is Don't Need Time, but these two need to stop fighting with each other for 3rd for a hope at getting 2nd or 1st positions. They kind of need to do a bump draft or a cooperation here. They almost look like they're in the same team, but Glovas has really closed in now very quickly as the tyres start to die off for the intermediate runners. Don't Need Time is tucked up underneath Glovas. What is going to happen now? I think that is probably was a little touch, perhaps a little bump draft down the start-finish line, and they will go for 1 more lap then. Can they hold on at the front, Zen and Floody? Well, Zen has Floody as a rear gunner, essentially. As much as Floody wants his P2 today, he needs to hold up the soft tyre runners directly behind. It is absolutely on for a potential win here for Glovas, for Don't Need Time, who have been the fastest drivers for the bulk of the race and qualifying. Can they make the difference here on this final lap? Running out of time really as they go through 100R to the right. Then it's a left-hander into the hairpin. It is very easy because Floody runs out wide. I think Glovas is going to walk past Zen here, just under traction. It's no fight at all for Glovas as he gets past Zen. Zen almost exits stage left from Don't Need Time as well, and as they were at the start of the race, it's Glovas versus Don't Need Time all over again. Zen just trying to cling on to P3 today, and the lap is almost done. We're into the final sector of the lap now for these guys as they run into turn 11 and 12. The long looping turn 12 becomes turn 13 into Nets corner. Then we go into Panasonic. What can Don't Need Time do? I have seen drag races to a finish here at Fuji. Don't Need Time going very wide for an earliest possible throttle application. Don't Need Time will go for it. He's going to go for it here. He's got the slipstream. The only thing Glovas can do is keep the loud pedal absolutely pinned. It's a long run to the checkered flag. There is a speed difference. It's not going to be enough. Glovas wins the race ahead of Don't Need Time as they go across the line. No, they're going to go again. They're going to go for a final lap. Wow. Okay, it is a final lap for just 2 drivers as Don't Need Time goes down the inside of Glovas. There, what a fantastic overtake in the end. Tremendous stuff. Zen spun, apparently, says astonishing, but this is how things went down into the first corner. As Don't Need Time goes for it, he gets the inside line. Glovas gave him the inside line. Don't Need Time. Zen and Floody finish behind them, and then it is just a showdown between these two to finish out the race. Don't Need Time getting that inside line through Daiichi corner, and can he hold on? Can he bring the biggest trophy home for the Peugeot team? and for Little Big Planet and Team Sony Interactive, as the Napster liveried 404 Motorsport Mercedes tries to get down, but it's a purple sector for Don't Need Time at this stage. This is crazy stuff. Everyone else has finished the race. Everyone else has finished. It is just these two in a 1v1 for the win, as Don't Need Time is half a second only ahead of Gluffaz. Remember, roles will be reversed on the way out of this final corner, Panasonic, and down this start finish line. This is going to be incredibly close because Don't Need Time, his softs have almost gone. He's almost out of fuel as well. Gluffaz will go with him, but that looks like an unassailable lead. It looks like it's going to be Don't Need Time now who is going to cross the line to win in Fuji ahead of Gluffaz. What a finish for those two who had the final lap to themselves, that 35th lap. That was absolutely mad stuff, as there is Don't Need Time with a tremendous win. His Oreo and Ritz Crackers sponsors are going to be incredibly happy. This is how things finish then. Fastest lap and the win for Don't Need Time in the Peugeot RCZ, ahead of Gluffaz in the Mercedes AMG for 404 Motorsport. We had the Audi Wunderfeld driver Floody finishing in P3, but Zendan in 7th with a spin at the end, and Mercury making it a great day for 404 Motorsport. Cam Ziller in 5th, Berman in 6th, with Larry up from the back and finishing in 8th in the end, but obviously depleted and now completely drained and unable to do anything else for the day with the flu other than sleep and watch racing cars on YouTube. We've got Arcane in 9th, Comacopa in 10th, Chaotica in 11th, Junkai 12th, Preston 13th. Sully ended up finishing the race before, unfortunately, Asian Persuasion, who was doing the reserve duties today. But what an absolute spellbinding wet race in Fuji. And if you enjoyed that, well, the channel will get back underway very soon. Just hit refresh on the channel homepage, because we'll be going for another race, and this is going to be the GTD World Challenge coming up very, very soon. Congratulations to the podium. Thank you so much, everybody who has taken the time out of their day to enjoy the race with us today. Lots of ways to support the channel, including tips that are open on the button and memberships and all the good stuff. But please like the video before you disappear on us today, and thank you so much for watching. It's great to be here with Deviant. It's great to be here with you all, and from me, Webbo, we will say thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.